It's your boy Angelo Savage, man. It seems like maybe felons can get their gun rights back again. I don't know. Let's see what's going on. This might be a good thing for the former felons that probably served their time and now they're being rehabilitated. Let's see. Check out the video. Let's go.
Trump administration is considering a way for convicted felons to restore their access to legally owning a firearm. Queen City News anchor Alicia Barnes and Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes takes us through those arguments.
The Justice Department is releasing plans to create a process for those with criminal convictions to restore their gun rights. So this decision sparking alarm that it will return firearms to those of convicted violent crimes. The interim rule follows an executive order from President Donald Trump last month directing a review of the country's gun restrictions to assess any ongoing infringements. Let's bring in our chief legal analyst, Khalif Rhodes, this conversation. Lots to discuss here because restoring gun rights to those who have been convicted of violent crimes, laying out the argument here for us, it says that a lot of people are concerned. Why?
Well, I mean, there's arguments for both sides in this situation. You have on the one side folks that are saying that the government should not be infringing on folks' constitutional rights to bear arms. And on the other side, you have folks that are saying there needs to be some common sense legislation and regulations, specifically rulemaking process that actually limits folks that can have guns. In this situation, you're talking about people convicted of felonies, but in all other instances, you're talking about folks that are domestic violence, people that have prior drug use. That was the Hunter Biden situation when attempting to get a firearm. And so a number of things are put in place by the ATF to ensure that folks that check one of those boxes, either a violent crime, either a domestic violence, or someone that is on drugs or had drug use issues in the past, don't have guns fall into their hands. And so that's why these regulations have been put in place. I should say these rules have been put in place to try to deter and stop folks from having guns in their hands. On the other side, folks are saying, look, in any type of regulation that stops folks from getting access to guns is a bad idea. And right now, that fight has been going on for a long time, and this is the president saying, I want to get an examination of that in February, and today this interim rule is something that the ATF is saying as they'll go forward will be the new rule.
So the DOJ now, under this proposal, they were very specific about who this would benefit. Explain that a little bit.
I mean, you're talking about folks with violent crimes. I mean, this is it's as specific as you can get. At the end of the day, these are folks that typically, if you were convicted of a crime, you would have been barred from having access to a firearm. And now they're saying, no, you will not be barred from having access to a firearm. And so that's why I say I have mixed feelings about this, specifically as someone that defends people that are charged with these types of crimes. Once you've committed a crime, you've been sentenced, you've done your time, you've paid your restitution, you've been on probation, you've been on some type of post relief. This additional infringement to say, look, now you still can't vote or you can't own a firearm is an additional hurdle for you to be reintegrated into society. And so I do understand and appreciate how folks are saying, well, listen, this person is done. They've served their sentence. Restore them fully to being an American citizen. But on the other hand, I can see that there is a secondary effect of someone that has committed a crime in the past. The likelihood is now higher that they may commit a crime, specifically if the original crime was a violent crime. So I can understand and appreciate both arguments.
I like that.
So also to be able to point out here, they said that no constitutional right is limitless, and they would now be screening out others. Specifically, what does that language mean? Is it kind of like what along the lines of what you just said about who should be able to have their rights?
It is. It is. I mean, and that's what the argument is. What talking about it's not limitless. Most of these gun rights advocates are saying that the president is attempting to do this unilaterally. While I think he is using his executive powers to do a number of things unilaterally, I think in this situation, this is how the administrations and agencies are supposed to work. ATF is there to formulate and promulgate rules. There should be and needs to be a rulemaking process where you have an opportunity for public citizens to comment on the proposed rulemaking change. And that process is the part that should be happening now. Here's this interim rule. These are the changes that we're thinking about making, and let us know how you feel about that. That's the problem that folks will say. If you're not having that rule-making policy discussion with everyday citizens, now you're overreaching your ability. But outside of that, I think this process is exactly how our agencies are set up. And if you rewind it months ago, the same folks that are now in power were saying the ATF doesn't have the ability to do these types of things. But now they are making the ATF do the things that they want to see done.
Khalif Rhodes, we appreciate your insight. Thanks so much.
Now look, I like what he said. That man is well spoken, he's very well spoken. But I want to say this. He's kind of more right. I agree with him on a lot of things. And I'm going to put this bug in y'all ear. I want you to think about this and maybe comment in the comment section. I'm also pro 2A, right? But when it comes down to this, I might not be for it. Now, if Donald Trump said, okay, you've served your time, you're back out, now you can vote. I wouldn't be against that at all. You know why? Because you're an American. And there's non-Americans, non-born Americans in this country that are voting. So I wouldn't be against for an American that had a felony, went to jail, served his time, got back out, and has the right to vote. I would 100% agree with that. Now, in certain states, felons can vote. I believe in most states you can't, though. Now, back to the 2A situation. I'm pro 2A. I'm not against none of this. I don't think there should be restrictions on people that are actually Americans, ex-felons that have be rehabilitated. But, and put this bug in y'all ear so y'all can understand where I'm coming from before I spit the game to you. Check it. Buddy go to jail for attempt murder with a deadly weapon. He go to jail, serve his time. But all he did is serve time. He ain't get no evals, no psych evals, none of that. He ain't get no, oh man, if you get back out, you're gonna do that. And then he's able to get a gun again. And now when this is law, that means the police can't stop him unless he does the crime again. You get what I'm saying here? So basically, the reason why I don't like that situation, because basically it forces the police to reinforce the same shit. They have to go after the same criminals that they originally went out of, and that could have been a deadly situation at the end of the day. So like, we can't just allow them to have the guns right back. There's a reason why, we took them, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying we should have restrictions on them. I don't think you should give guns back to felons that got in trouble with the guns. You get what I'm saying? It's like giving a killer the same weapon he killed the other people with after he served his time. Plus, let me put this bug in here. If you add to the situation that these guys have felonies now and they probably cannot get jobs, it's easy for them to, panhandle enough money to go get a gun, then commit a crime. You think they're going to do it? Yes, because it's easier. Because the jobs don't want to hire them for any reason. It could be attempt murder, it could be theft, it could be vehicle homicide, anything. These jobs won't hire them. Now what? You gave them the ability to buy a weapon, which is actually the real power. You see, there's a reason why they fear weapons, because it's like the great equalizer. You know what I'm saying? A pistol, a gun, in any capacity is the great equalizer, because it's like a superpower almost. You know what I'm saying? This is why the reason when police do raids and things, they come with guns. You know what I'm saying? Because what's more superior than a gun when it comes to enforcing things? And then you give it back to a person that might not can get money. He might have a criminal record now because you're not expunging his record. He still got the record. He just got guns. So now he can't get jobs, which means he can't get money. But who's the great equalizer? The gun. And the gun forces him to do crime with it because people don't want to lose their life. But you're giving a gun to someone that don't really care about his life as much as a person that did not commit the crimes, law-abiding citizen, did not do all this. So, I agree on a lot of stuff Trump says. This one I don't. I'm sorry. And, and a lot of people got a misunderstanding that I might be 100% right. No, I'm more in the middle. I'm like the middle right. I agree on a lot of stuff he says, but when it comes to this right here, and I'm pro 2A, like I said, but I don't think that you should be giving, I'd rather you give citizens untrained weapons that are no felony, background check, they had a psych eval. Because if you're doing that, if you're giving felons guns, you might as well start giving away guns to crazy people. You know what I'm saying? Because they can get one, right? If a woman got murdered by a gun and it's attempt murder, he pistol whipped her, probably shot her in the leg, shot her below the waist, got attempt murder charge, did a quick 15, 20, came back home. You gave that same guy the same gun. What do you think he's going to do with that gun? Let's just be logical with the situation. What do you think that man's going to do with that gun? Is he going to blame the woman for going after her, for whatever she did to him to make him do what he did to her, but do it again because he just wasted 20 years of his life? You got to think that. You got to think like revenge, because we're human beings. So we're going to think about revenge. We're going to think about, oh, this man cost me 20 years of my life because she cheated on me, or she said some disrespectful shit to me and I spazzed out on her. They're not going to blame themselves. They're going to blame her. Next you know it, now he gonna finish the job. So no, I don't believe you should be giving felons of violent crimes, maybe non-violent crimes, that's different. Maybe if I committed a felony like speeding over like 20 over the speed limit, you know what I'm saying? And then, or 25 over the speed limit, I got a felony, right? That's a different type of felony. That's not super violent. You know what I'm saying? That's not really a violent crime where I used a deadly weapon or used deadly force on somebody. So that's different. So if he gave the rights back to people that got like low class felonies, you know what I'm saying? Not the high class felonies. Then okay, I'm more for it. But don't say I'm gonna give killers back the guns. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give rapists back the guns. I can't do that, man. You can't give criminals back the guns. Thieves back the guns. You can't do that, bro. I'm sorry. It is a constitutional right. And we're not saying that we taking it away, but you lost the privilege of buying it because of the likeliness of you using it to harm innocent, law-abiding citizens. That's all there is to it. I'm be honest. That's all there is to it. You can't get these people back these guns. It will be detrimental. It will be detrimental to the society if you get these men back the gun. You can't do it, bro. You get these men back the gun, you're gonna see more violence start, because now you got people back out that already wasted a lot of their time in jail, that institutionalized. You never helped them in jail to kind of correct that mindset. You just imprisoned them. It's like when a dope dealer go to jail. They withdrawn and everything. Y'all don't wing them off the drugs. Y'all just throw them in the cell. And then they kind of go crazy in the cell until they kind of straight out. You know what I'm saying? But nobody's rehabilitating them. Nobody's teaching them how to flow back into society. Are we? No. Right, so in this situation, Trump, I'm not agreeing with you, big dog. Sorry, I can't agree with everything my man say, but I agree with most, but not this. This is not it. Maybe I would say even if you're a violent offender, you can vote. You can't run for any. It's like saying you can run for a political office and you're a felon, bro. No. Felon, like real felons, not accused and didn't get charged. Like real people that for violent crimes, being accused of violent crimes. No. You can't do. You gotta have rules with this shit. These are firearms, bro. These aren't just anything. This isn't just freedom of speech. This isn't just the First Amendment. This is the Second Amendment. So it's deeper, right? So y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section. It's your boy Angelo Savage. Am I right? Am I wrong? Do you think if you're pro 2A, explain to me why you think that these violent offenders should come back and get these guns? Or if you're anti 2A, tell me why that nobody should have guns, because I know some of y'all out here thinking nobody should carry guns and everybody should just be la da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Walking around, we can't do that either. I definitely don't believe that shit. if it's to me to get the felons, if it was between me giving the felons the guns or no guns for everybody, nigga, get the felons the guns. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying, right? Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments section, man. Because this is one for Donald Trump I don't agree with, man. Simple as that. It's your boy Angelo So Savage. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let's go. It's your boy. Peace.